What's up? It's me, Dee Dee. Welcome to the Hookah Lounge. So, it's your girl. I was supposed to have a guest tonight, so he had to cancel. So Dee Dee had to come up with a new show idea. But he will be here not this month, but next month. He's got a bunch of pictures up on Instagram. He ended up on granddaddy duty today, so he has a great story. I can't wait to have him on. He's retired, life after retirement. A lot of people that I know retire and their life just goes to hamburgers. Hey, why is my thing so close? I'm like, there we go. My face is all in the camera. Just way too close to me. Um, so I can't wait to get him on because, like I said, a lot of people I know that retired, they either don't know what to do with themselves or they, sadly enough, pass away from boredom. Unlike him or my in-laws, so he's been traveling everywhere. That's why next week he has a party, and then after that he's traveling. So he's traveling, catering, doing a lot for himself on retirement. So I can't wait to get him on the show. Um, so tonight we're doing something a little different. Look, I started the show right as the camera came on. I was like, dang, I should have took a shot. Because we're talking about the difference between love and lust. So it's going to get a little deep in here tonight. And we are on a little bit earlier tonight than usual. So I was rushing around trying to get things done, get my grandson fed. I'm always on grandmommy duty on the weekend. So trying to get him fed and hopefully get him settled in before we get started tonight. Oh, I got a message from somebody I grew up in church with. She always texts me every Saturday. She's a little late today, or maybe I should start texting her first, huh? So I'm really excited about this one. I don't know where to really go with this one. With the difference between love and sex, because I know people get this one confused all the time. Do you know the difference between love and sex, or can love turn into sex? I'm not really sure. Well, I guess it can, because lust is like an overwhelming feeling, like that desire, physical attraction to another person, and love is like more of the desire to make you want to do something for somebody else. Like if you're in lust with somebody, you're not gonna really change most of your ways. You'll just can't wait for that next exciting moment. But when you're in love with somebody, I think that really, you stop and think about their feelings. You think about them. Yeah, I miss my lights behind me. I looked at the cameras like there's no blinky. I gotta get them fixed. You really work hard at trying to make that other person happy. You care about their feelings. You go places you don't want to go because I don't want to Vegas for a pigeon, whatever. Um, you do things you don't want to do. You care about somebody else's feelings, emotions. You take the time to like what they like. When you're in lust, that's a whole different ballgame. You work hard not to argue. So there's a big difference between lust and between love. So I'm a toast today for the longevity of love. I got my deep glass or my deep cup. So people that can stay in love for a long time and work through the hardships, that's a plus. When you don't give up, when you're in a lustful relationship, it's easy to just give up and go to the next. But that's why marriages only last 3-4 years, sometimes maybe 5. Or relationships you can just switch to the next one so easily because that's not love. Love makes you stop and fight for it. So what's that saying? Love make you do some crazy things, right? Like that Titanic movie. My son's father watched that Titanic movie so many times. I could not get into that movie at all. I'm not losing my life for somebody I met 3 days ago. Ain't that much lust in the world. That I'll take a bullet for somebody. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop and think about it. You might get shot. By the time Didi stopped and thought, like, will I take a bullet here? Oh. So I've been involved for, my son is about to be 23, and I met the husband. Now that's something right there. That was a lustful relationship that turned into love. But honestly, no, because we were friends for a long time before that relationship turned into anything that's substantial. And that's where that love comes into play. Like, a lot of times, maybe lust can turn into a great friendship, you know, and then it turns lustful. You're like, oh, you know, because sometimes friends make the best relationships because, oh, well, maybe not because you know too much about each other. And then you guys start throwing stuff back and forth. I don't know. We don't do that. Like, we know a lot about each other, but we don't throw our past at each other. So I guess because we were just old as Cain and Abel when we got together, and we didn't have time to do the childish thing. So I don't know. But that goes into my first thought, or I kind of touched on it already. I'm gonna ask you: is there love at first sight? I've never ever believed in love at first sight because you don't know somebody. There's lust at first sight because you know you're physically attracted to somebody off rip. Like, you see somebody, you're like, oh yeah, yeah, you know, their physical attributes, you know, take you to that. Oh yeah, I like what I see. And you know, even though women try not to admit it, but you can say, yeah, I can see myself, you know, when you see somebody. So just like men, the minute they see somebody, like some people like naturals, some people like those BBLs, or yeah, I don't understand why that might pop like a balloon. But when you see it, you know, oh, I could get down with that. So that's lust at first sight. You know, I put on stupid. I'm gonna stop putting on stupid movies to go to sleep because they kind of stay in my head, and then I end up waking up before the movie is over. So, you know, and they profess their love in like 2 weeks. How on earth? You don't. One thing, you can never fall in love with me till you see me at my worst. You see me in the morning when I don't talk to you in the morning. I'm very not a morning person because I don't wake up till I go to bed in the morning. I go to bed at 4 or 5. You know, when you're getting up to go to work, yeah, I'm going to bed. So until you see me cranky in the morning, because the husband is sitting looking at me like he saw me yesterday morning. I was up at 9, and he's like, "What are you doing awake?" They're building a new playground across the street. You know, the school got funding for a new playground and all that. So I was very unhappy. So he always says, I don't speak to her till she speaks to me. Until she's ready to talk, I don't say nothing to her. And he'll do the, who are you today? So do you see me at my worst? Or you see, I have this thing with words. Till you see me cut either you down or somebody else down with words like a lumberjack, don't tell me you love me, because I might hurt your feelings. Love me after I've hurt your feelings. I don't understand how women hit men. Y'all need to stop doing that. Me and my husband were talking about that the other night. But I can make you want to hit me. In words, I've gotten a lot better than that, with that though. Over the, you know, I last 10 years, I've really been working on the person that I am, and I don't really do that anymore. I won't tell you, the husband said something to me one day like, I can understand why somebody punches your ass. I told somebody at work, young dude, said something to me. I said, little boy, I will have you in the corner somewhere, curled up in a little ball, sucking your thumb, asking why. Please don't start with me. I am just not the one. I've been to work since 2010, so it's been a long time since I behaved that way. But I can get it from my mama. It had to have been my daddy because Abuelita used to say, "How do you do that?" I was like, "Oh no, it comes naturally." So, but that's what I said. That love at first sight. No, you love the what is it, the honeymoon phase, and you love the lustful acts. You love how beautiful that person is, or how handsome he is, or he's. You know, I love tall. I love height. You know, I'm not really big on looks. I'm into height, um, intelligence. Like you have a conversation that's outside of sports because most men couldn't have a conversation with me outside of sports. So if you could do that, I love intelligence and I love that you're funny. Like, cause as you see, I could laugh at myself. I make I make myself laugh. So that's what's lustful for me. I really like height is the first thing that'll get me. Can't be under 5'11". Anything under 5'11", just keep on walking. Like, just don't stop. Don't stop. Until I'm gonna look at you like you're a child, like you still in the 8th grade. Well, my first husband was 5. I'm 5'5". He's about 5'8", 5'9". So, but you know, everybody has their type. Everybody, but you know, people look at the array of like the first husband, my son's father, and the husband. They all are totally different. So when people say that you have a type or what you lust for, but there's a difference. Like I said, that love at first sight, I just don't particularly believe in. Some people could say, "Oh, I met my husband the day that I like our guest is going to be on." He said the day he saw his wife, he knew he was going to marry her, and he was like 19 years old. So some people, they have it. For Didi, I don't believe in it, because then I want to see you at your worst. I want to see if somebody is driving and they cut you off. Are you about to road rage, follow them to the gas station, follow them home, and then, you know, want to fight? Yeah, that's a no-go for me. If you can handle your temper. I want to see if we go to a restaurant, how do you treat a waiter or a waitress? I want to see how do you tip. I want to see, do you talk down to people? You know, I want to see how you treat people. So I want to see how you treat your mother. So yeah, I don't know that the minute I see you. So, hey, that's just a little different for me. So then I have to ask yourself, like, in your relationship, if you spend more time in your relationship, let's say you guys been together for like a year, and you spend more time chicka chicka wow wow than you do on a date, having a conversation. I don't know if it's the Netflix and chill. That was one of the questions last week. But if you spend more time, every time you have an argument, instead of fixing it, you know, they say, "Oh, makeup sex is the best sex," but is it? Because after you had your makeup sex, did you talk about what y'all was arguing about? That's a lust to me. You know, these are only DB's opinions. Is that a lustful relationship or a loving relationship? So, you know, and then I have to think about that for a second because the husband and I, like for the first year, The Sopranos, you know, that was our date night, was The Sopranos. So we would order food and bring it to the house and watch The Sopranos. Nobody knew we were in a relationship for almost 3 years. Nobody. So one time we got caught. There was this Red Lobster out here on Century in Inglewood. That was our spot because, you know, the little bartender, I swear he looked like one of my kids, made the best drinks. And we got busted there one time. So we stopped going out because we didn't want people to see us. And every time we went to like Roscoe's, every time we went to like, you know, I like hole in the wall places, like mom and pop hole in the wall places. And every time we went there, some kid would see us. So we always like ordered food to go. And we always ate here. So I was thinking about that, like no one really knew about us until we announced we were going to get married, which is crazy. We were like, what in the flying fishtails? So, but that didn't make our relationship, I don't think lustful. It made it private, very private, because I always tell people the minute you start telling someone about your relationship, the minute they're going to try to destroy it or break it down, or tell him things that I do, or tell me things that he does. So the way that it lasted for so long before we got married is that it was private. Because the minute that we did get married, we worked at the same place. People started telling him things about me, or me things about him. But the biggest one is like, how do you deal with her? One, her mouth is so big, or me being masculine, or me being a flirt. Well, first I turned into a flirt, but before that, because I wouldn't date anyone at work, then I was part of the alphabet community, so they couldn't make up their mind. So keeping your relationship private is really stop telling everybody. Don't tell everybody what you're doing. What does the Bible say? Don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Sometimes just be quiet, and things you can work through all the hard parts of your relationship and make it stronger before somebody comes and destroys it before you had a chance to build on something positive. So just, me being me. When you talk to, I don't have anyone to feed off of. So I like when I have somebody to feed off of, and since this show was so quick, it's better to do it like a panel show. But I didn't want to cancel, so I wanted to pop on really quick. And we're going to go really quick tonight. We both have things to do this evening, so you're just going to get Didi's views on the differences between lust and love and my experiences, which, since I graduated with Moses prom season and Noah was my prom date, I got a lot of my own opinions on things like this. So, and we are super early tonight, so a lot of people are going to catch the replay. Why do we make mistakes? Oh, why do we make the mistakes of, when you get those butterflies in your stomach, and when they last a long time through your relationship, that's how you know you have something real. But you get those butterflies in your stomach, and you're like, oh, I know this is love, because every time I see him, my stomach does somersaults. Yeah, that's not love. If I drink too much, my stomach does. I'm just joking. That is a joke. Stop playing like that. But that is a great feeling. And like when you've been with somebody, like you've been with them for a year, and then that one day he gives you that smile, and those flutters come back, and you're like, oh, this really truly was love. I remember getting those feelings when we first met. That's a great fix. And to get those feelings when you first start seeing each other, then, that means you have a great physical connection to somebody. And why is that not great having? I think that's really great to have. Because then you know that there's something special about that person. But sometimes we got to be careful with those little butterflies, because they could attract the wrong type of dude or the wrong type of female. Because, some of these, let me tell you something. Didi ain't ashamed to say, some of these women are just super attractive, and you get those butterflies, and you find out you ain't got no money in your bank account after 6 months to a year. And the same thing with men, because sometimes we get those butterflies from men, and I don't care if you don't have a flashy car, because my husband refuses to buy a car that he can't buy outright. But they don't have no job. My husband will buy a car that he can't buy outright, but he's owned this house for over 20. My son is about to be 23, over 25 years. So you got to own something. You got to have a job of some sort. So don't let those butterflies fool you, young ladies, because sometimes you move these men into your houses, and then at the end of it, you find out you can't even put them out. You got to evict them. I learned that the hard way. You can't just be putting people out. They have a right to be there. You got to evict them. So don't let those butterflies fool you. Sometimes the butterflies will tell you, oh, he's so handsome, and keep it pushing. Or men say, oh, she is fly, and keep it pushing. But if you've been in a relationship with somebody for a long time, and they give you a certain look, and you get those butterflies, man, that's a nice feeling. That really is. I forgot we have some videos. Are you going to drop one of those videos? Because I want to make some comments on some of them videos that were kind of interesting. So now a few little topics I want to talk about. But we kick it out of here. I know we jumped on early tonight. We are sticking to an hour.
You know, I get this question a lot. Leon, will he ever be able to love? Or man, will you ever be able to love? Leon, will you ever be able to love? Were you able to love, right? So the question is, it's a possibility, but they have to want it. The key thing here is what's more important, love or lust? And in a narcissistic person's mind, lust is more important. You know why? Because lust fed my flesh. Lust gave me what I wanted. Lust gave me what I needed. But what's more important than that is that lust, I was in control of my own lust. I was in control of my own addictions. When you're in love, when you're trying to be in love, when you're trying to find love, when you think about love, when you want love, when you want to desire love, that's for you all. For narcissistic people, they don't want love, they don't desire love, they don't think about love. But the most important thing about love is they can't connect to love because it wasn't there after a while. For me, the childhood love was gone after 11 years old. So I had no reason to connect to love. It was lust that drove me.
Hey, Spanx. I know we're kind of early tonight. That is so deep what he said. And I'm going to break it into two parts because he said a narcissist. Yeah, he said at 11. I have to go back to his channel and figure out what happened to him. But he said after, not after 11, that a narcissist, they don't require love. The only thing that they're looking for is the lust part of it. Because one, if you know what a narcissist is, the only person they care about is themselves. They really cannot take the time to think about anybody else. So to get into a relationship with somebody, like I said at the top of the show, you really got to think about somebody else. You got to think about their feelings. You got to stop and care. Sometimes you got to give in. Even though you know you're right in a relationship, you got to just stop and say, you're right, baby. I'm going to give that to you. She could be dead wrong or he could be dead wrong. And you know that you could win that argument and just kill it all off, kill game. Because I do it all the time. You just look and be like, okay, you're right. And let it go. But a narcissist could never do that. So how in the world could they ever be in a relationship? They can't. So when a narcissist is going through something, it, like he just said, it only be lust. That's it. He didn't have time for anything else. And that's why I always tell people when you're looking into a relationship, you can't, that lust at first sight, you better dig deeper. I mean, that love is first sight. Let me refer as I was. Because how do you know you're not involved with a narcissist? And if you're involved with a narcissist or anyone that's selfish, and sometimes the person may not be a narcissist, they just may be a little selfish. They're never going to be able to return. Just like this gentleman said, he's never going to be able to give you what you want. But because all he can do is think about himself. And he's out for a lustful relationship. And he may be in that lustful relationship for a year and a half, because he's enjoying the lust that you're providing for him. And then what's going to happen to you, young lady? You done wasted a year and a half of your time. And what do you get at the end of it? Hey, man, I just heard that that little TV star, that little TV girl with the television show, the talk show just dropped Common. Is that his name, Common? Another man that's been in relationship after relationship after relationship, but when it's time to get married and have children, he skates. I don't know if he's a narcissist because I don't know him, but I know what he is. Commitment phobia. Is that what they call? How many women have gotten pissed off at this man? Comment. Because all he's after is the, I don't know, don't have me bearing false witness, Lords, I'm sorry. Just from what I have seen, every time it's time for him to take a relationship past boyfriend and girlfriend, he's good. They're looking for two different things. That's what this man was just saying. He can't give you all of that. That's at 11, his commitment to being in a relationship was over. And there's a lot of people out there, male and female. I honestly thought that was me. I honestly thought I would never be able to be involved with anybody ever again and be able to give of myself only to my children. I never thought I would get married again. And the first year was very difficult. And I'm actually, let me stop telling the fib. maybe 5 years into the relationship, maybe I don't even want to give a number, but I was honestly told that you I still gave more to my children than I did to the relationship. So, again, you got to do research on, but that should have been a given. I have 5 kids, and one of them was like maybe 6 well, 4 at the time. My oldest son had passed away, but you you got to really dig deep into people, get out the lust part of it and look at the relationship part of it, because and one of my co-hosts got mad at me when I said, if you are with a woman with children, you marry the baggage. That I brought 4 little suitcases right along with me. And here we come. And even though my sons were in college, I had one had just I got married, one was graduating high school, had just graduated high school, was going to college. One's still in high school, and then a little one, because I've waited a long time. You still got to deal with, they're in college, they got fees, their cars need to be fixed, they crashed a car. There's stuff that comes with it. So that, it never just comes with nothing. Then I had a little brother that I helped raise that, his penitentiary issues. So you marrying somebody that's got baggage. So that, like that man said, you do a lustful relationship, or you have the energy to do a real relationship. So that was pretty deep, and I didn't know that one was coming first, because that's a deep one right there. And you gotta a lot of times women don't listen, and men either, because the woman will tell you too. Because I got a woman about to come on here, and she gonna tell you also. We don't. Oh, I could change him. Oh, for me. Oh, but I'm different. Listen to what they say. And sometimes they may not say it, but their actions. I would say anybody can tell you they love you, but their actions just show it to you. So that's the part that we got to pay attention to. And half the time they tell you, like in Diddy's songs, he was telling. No, I'm just joking. No, Diddy. That was so funny last night. Was that last night? I don't know. I watched a few podcasts, different channels, but somebody was, oh no, that was Claire Shay Shay. He kept saying pause and no Diddy. I haven't heard pause before until recently. I know what pause was. But you gotta listen. A lot of times we don't listen. So we gotta pay attention and look at the signs. There be red flags everywhere. So oh, and then if you've been in a relationship like a long time, because I've been married for 9,000 years. Do you think that you could bring, like, if the relationship started off really lustful, like you guys like were tearing each other's clothes off, everything was so great, and then you've been together since the first Batman, do you think that you could bring lust back into the relationship? And how do you do that? Like, how do you bring back those lustful times, or like how it was when you first started, when you were getting those butterflies, or what do you do to spice it all back up? Like we used to travel all the time, but right now we can't go anywhere. We gotta wait. So what do? Do you do a staycation? Do you don't be pouring no candle wax on me, I'll break out. I'm just joking. I've seen that in a movie one time. I think it was Madonna. The other one's joking because I had Prince on up here. And I hope I'm not freezing, because I'm looking at my TV, I keep freezing. I've got to buy a new laptop. And they were pouring the wax on. I was like, how do you not just jump up? What do you think? Like a good massage, like a real romantic dinner, strawberries and cream. I mean, like, spanks you out there, how you keep that fire going? That's what I mean, like the jacket and just, I got the sexiest shoes. So how do we keep that spice going, Hey, Drip and Chef. We're talking about the difference between love and lust. And I just asked, how do we bring that lust back into a long relationship? Mine is like 20 years long. So that's the question. Let us know. What do you do? G-Lew, I'm trying to make sure that I push it so we can get out of here a little early, a little on time for a change. Drop that other video. There's the one with that girl that blew my mind.
Ladies, it's perfectly okay to be in lust with a man, right? Lust is passion, intense, fun. You know, love takes time to build. So in the beginning stages, enjoy the lust. There's no need to force everything to make it all perfect and be all in love so quickly.
Now, I don't know why I keep smoking this thing. Stop smoking. Every day. So this thing catches me off guard sometimes. She blew my mind. Because, you know, most of my friends are married or in a relationship. So a lot of women think like this right now. Hot girl summer. Well, that's not what I heard that meant. But a lot of women are very independent right now. And a lot of women are not thinking about relationships. They've gotten to the point where I'm not thinking about a relationship, but I gotta think about myself and my needs. I just was raised like that, even though, you know, every woman goes to their period in life that they just want to be them and be free. So, but they don't say it out loud. Well, that's just how we were taught. Like you keep it private. But she's telling ladies, hey, you can go out there and get your lust on. Do what you want to do. And it's been promoted a lot lately for women. You don't need to settle down. You just go out there and do what you want to do. Tongue-tied, because doesn't that raise your body count? And how do men feel about a woman's body count? Like if you hear that and you're a man, how do you feel about women who just go out there and get their lust on? Like, just go out. I mean, I know women that do it. I have friends that have been out there. Most of them are married now, but when they weren't, and they were out there doing their thing, they didn't advertise it though, because you know we grew up. You could not be the S girl or the H girl, and everybody knew about it. You had to do those things privately. Like you didn't get on Instagram or TikTok and expose yourself to being that type of girl. So that's interesting to me that nowadays it's everywhere. On TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, everyone is like, oh, if I want to be that kind of lady, I can, and you can't say anything about it. But then what does that turn around about when you're ready to settle down? And now, this is the thing, now you 35, 40, and now you want to settle down. Does that come back to haunt you? I'm curious. So I may have had a whole basketball team, but the daddy count wasn't, you know, on the roster. And I know a few people that I don't have. That's not a condemnation. Because maybe you only been with 5 dudes and they all gave you a baby. I don't know, but if your roster is like a dude's roster, and your body count is like a dude's body count, does that affect? Because, you know, men always want to ask you, how many you've been with? And men, trust me, it's never the same, but you got to add 3. Well, me, I used to, because I didn't have that many, I always felt embarrassed because I was married for so long. So I'm sitting with my girls and they giving their number and I'm like, 1. So, you know, I wanted to go out there. I always wanted to go out there and add bodies to my account, but then I always end up in relationships. The one, and then I got into the relationship with my son's father. Then I got into another relationship. So I'd be trying to add people that wasn't really there. You hanging out with your girls. My best friend be looking at me like, "You gonna stop lying?" You ain't trying to keep up with the Joneses. I was trying to keep up with the hoses. None of y'all know my friends, so they. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. So these are my homegirls. I can never ever keep up. So, but if they're living there, but my kids, if they're living, doing their thing and living their thing, they are all married now. But these young girls, they're doing it like dudes. I don't know. When it comes time to settle down, that's a question men are gonna have to throw my way, because I don't know or answer. So let me know. Oh, I'm sorry, somebody text me. When somebody becomes less attractive to you, what do you do to the blinders come off, like when the lights come on the next morning, you took the last girl from the club home. So once the lust wears off in a relationship or a lustful ship, or what they call situationship, what happens then? Do you what's up, Mac Malone? I see you, Teresa. What do we do then? Like, how does that awkward situation work? Now that all the wonderful things that we were doing that made this lustful relationship work so well, and now the fire is gone, and that whole thing that brought us together is over, then is that where the turnaround starts to come? Like, okay, or is that why the lustful relationships are hit and misses? So, because I do know a couple of people that have been in lustful relationships for a good year, but then there's like no commitment with that relationship. Because I do know a few people, like, those relationships don't really last. I mean, there's no commitment behind relationships like that. They don't have they're not planning their future. They may plan a vacation, but they're not planning houses, children, dogs, cats, nothing. But they'll hang out, do things together, have a good time, but there's no future in any of that. So those things, and I guess that's I'm mad at it. If both sides are saying, hey, this is just for fun, I'm definitely not even mad at it. So, if both parties are saying, hey, this is just for fun. So, but when you have one party that thinks, and it's not usually the women, because I know men that will show up at jobs. You have to get restraining orders on, and she was like, it wasn't even that serious. I don't know why he took it like that. So sometimes men have to. They talk about women being emotional creatures. Sometimes I haven't seen it happen. So when you're looking at a relationship, and that ties into what I was just saying. If you're in a relationship and you're the only one that's using language like we, us, future, you worried about you turning your last name into his last name, do you stop and think about that? I mean, like, that's more of a lustful relationship, don't you think? Instead of that's a lustful relationship, not a loving relationship. And when do you stop and recognize you're in a real relationship or a lustful relationship? How do you know the difference as you're going on with this relationship that you're in? How can you tell the difference as you're going through this relationship? When do you stop and start saying, what type of relationship am I in? Yeah, I've met him. He's fine. Oh my gosh. We've been dating for 6 weeks now. Oh, it's been like 3 months now. Oh, it's been like, when do you stop and say, is he lusting me or is he loving me? Because like I said in the beginning, real relationships are like, oh my goodness, I saw this meme today, or this, she says, hey baby, where are you going? A store. And he said, I'm going out with my friend. And she said, no, I think we're going to stay in and watch a movie. And she said, we're going to find a Blockbuster, watch a movie. and chilled. And then she says, "You want popcorn or nachos?" And then you see the gun pointing at him. He said, "Yeah, I'll take some nachos. I don't need nothing popping around here." So I'm saying, when do you know that you're in that kind of relationship? Like, oh, you're not going out with your friends. Have a seat. We about to do some me time. So how long did it take for you to be in that relationship to realize this ain't a relationship? Because he'd rather be off with somebody else. I gotta get trigger happy. For him to sit the F down and Netflix and chill. So how long do you stay in a relationship like that when you realize, like, if we not chicka wow, he's not interested. And he's not introducing you to his family. But like I said, you got to be careful with that, because even though everybody knew about me, I stayed, like, I had a rule when I was first dating after the husband, the first husband. I don't want to know where you live. You don't get to know where I live. You don't get to meet my children. I don't even want to know if you have children. You see what I mean? After a certain hour, don't try calling my phone. Don't think you get any Friday nights, because those are for my kids. I had these set of rules. And my homeboy said, "Your rules are for a married man." No, they're not. He said, "Well, you sound like you're a married woman." No, I'm not. I'm a lady with children. I don't want a relationship. I don't want anything. So, ask how hard it was for me to find somebody. And even the husband, when I told him I had 5 kids, he didn't believe me. But I told everybody I had 5 kids so that they wouldn't talk to me. This is how you get rid of men. You know I got 5 kids, right? And they go away. So if anyone could break down those barriers, then I would give you the time of day. Not many could. Because that means you got to fight to find time with me to be with me, because I have children. So it was very easy for people to realize that you ain't about to get into a little lustful relationship with her because she ain't got time. Or maybe that was a lustful relationship. I'm so confused. Different. But the longevity, at the end, the longevity ended up working out because he stuck around. But you got to stop and start thinking, ask those questions when you're with somebody. Like I said, when you first see it, like, oh, that person is fine, or oh, she's hot. You got to ask yourself, that's lust in the beginning. And how long do you take it before it turns into love? Because, like I said, he doesn't believe in love at first sight. Like, I don't know your mama. I don't know how you treat your mama. I don't know how you treat waitresses or waiters. I don't know if you're bad with money. And that, after the lust wears off, are you broke? Do you pay your bills on time? Because love does not pay bills. I'm sorry, lust does not pay bills. Love, we can work our way through some of those things, And love makes you work harder. Love makes you try. Lust would be like deuces. And like I said at the top of the show, a lot of marriages break up in 2, 3, 5 years. Because it was built on not a foundation of love, but a foundation of lust. Because I don't know if I can say that on here. Good, you know what? It only lasts for so long. And then you start getting irritated. So, G-Lew, drop that last video because we're going to get out of here. I told you I'm going to keep it under an hour.
How guys fall in love versus how girls fall in love. You guys are falling in love quickly. You see a girl and just looking at her, you're already in love with her. You already think that she's the one and you think she's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Women, on the other hand, are going to evaluate you a lot more. Women fall in love over time. They don't just see a guy and instantly fall in love with him. And they see a guy, they're attracted to him. The things that you do, and over the course of time of her getting to know you, that's how she falls in love with you.
That's what I was just saying. I'm telling you, a man will see a beautiful woman and he's whining, dining, paying her car notes, buying her car. I got 5 brothers, I got 5 sons. Let me tell you something. That beautiful woman. Oh my gosh. Hey, Monica. They will bend. I took gymnastics and they will be doing backflips for a beautiful woman. I seen the stuff they used to do for my sister. Just because she's beautiful. They love them now. That ain't never happened for me. I ain't never been that beautiful. But women, oh, you can be fun. And some women may let you hit that night, but she ain't in love with you. Mm-mm. And sometimes men don't understand how a woman can leave so easily. Like, we've been together for 10 years. 12 years. That first husband is still trying to figure out after 12 years how I skated so easily. Women can do it. Y'all think, we'll be busting windows out of cars, usually because you cheated. Or you wrecked her car. You slept with her best friend. Those are reasons they do stuff like that. It ain't love. It's not. Because we sit and we watch. And sometimes a woman will get married and she's still not in love. But you know what? You either make her better. She sees in her life to be better. She knows that you are a good man. So sometimes he was right. We sit, we watch, we wait. You know, we look at your credentials. We see what kind of man you made of. Again, how do you treat your mama? So, yes, indeed, he hit on the nose. But man, you guys are funny. I know you guys are the stronger vessel. Thank you, Monica. So, yes. So, and I'm glad we played that one last because, like I said, there are things that we came on early tonight for a reason, and I promise to keep this one at an hour. And that was the perfect one to if you learn anything tonight, that man just told you, it takes women longer to fall in love. I don't care what comes out their mouth. So, yeah, I know I have technical issues over here. I'm trying to figure out which laptop to buy. So I am gonna start working on my technical difficulties I keep having. But thank you guys. I know we came on early. Go watch it from the beginning of the show. Watch the playback. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I love this. And our guest that we're supposed to have tonight, he will be on next month. I'm scheduling him for next month, so he will be on. Great story. He's retired. He's not sitting back doing nothing. He won't be on until next month because he's about to travel. And he's a caterer. Great story. So make sure that you do check in with us next month to catch his story. Next week we have Digital West. So we are doing bands, soul R&B and soul bands next week. So make sure you catch that. Yeah, Monica, catch the replay on this one. This was fun. It actually was. Go check out last night's interview if you missed it. And of course, we will be here for Oldies Rule Forever tomorrow. Catch that. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Us. You play that video, G-Lew, so we can check out. I know we got things to do tonight. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow. I don't celebrate holidays, but be safe out there tomorrow. Enjoy your day. And I love all you moms. Good night.